outside in the box. I'm going to walk through this problem with you. And what I want you to do when you go to your homework is to copy the process. So I'm going to show you all the steps to the process. All right? The very first thing that we need to do when we approach one of these problems is whatever, this is old C right here. Old C. We're going to need a new C, but we got to get rid of old C. So we're going to move him to the other side. And this is going to give me x squared minus 14x. Leave a spot for new C. All right? And here's the thing. If we're going to add C to this side, we have to add C to the right-hand side too. So I'm going to put a plus, and I'm going to put a little line there. And under here, I'm going to put the little C. C, new C is going to go there. So we had to move old C. You will find when you look at the homework problems that you have from the book, in some of them, they have already moved old C, and you will not have to do it. All right? So we're going to calculate the new C. So remember our formula. It is right here. C equals B over 2 quantity squared. So I'm going to do this. C equals, let's move this so you can see it, B over 2 quantity squared. And the B in my example is whatever's in front of x, that's negative 14. So when I'm calculating it in this example, it's negative 14 divided by 2 squared, which gives me negative 14 divided by 2 is negative 7. Square that, gives me 49. Okay? That's my brand new C, and that's what you were doing in 7, 9, and 11 just now. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it right here, plus 49, and you're going to put it over here, plus 49. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is what I just showed you on the other side of the paper when we were taking notes. You are going to write this like this. And the way that you're going to write it is you're going to put the x here. The sign that's right here in front of B goes right here. And here's who you're bringing in. This guy right here, he's going to go there. And essentially, notice, it's the square root of whatever is here. Whatever the square root of this is what's going here. On this side, I'll get my calculator out. Negative 16 plus 49 gives me 33. Now, let me shift the paper for a second. Do you remember the other day, like a week ago, when we were solving equations that looked like this by square rooting both sides like this? And we got x equals plus or minus 5, which means x equals 5 or x equals negative 5. We're going to do that. So go back to here. Bring it all up here. We are going to square root this side, and we are going to square root this side. All right? When we square root this, all we have is x minus 7. We don't know what the square root of 33 is, so we're going to have to use our calculator. So let's go ahead, square root of 33, and look at it, gives you a decimal. Give me 2 decimal places. That will be enough. Okay? So out of this, I'm going to use 5.74. So this is plus or minus 5.74. My very last step to this, I'm going to add the 7 here and add the 7 here. That's to get x by itself. So these guys cancel, and I have x equals 7 plus 5.74, and here's the other one, x minus, or 7 minus 5.74. And so all I got to do is calculator these two out. So I've got 7 plus 5.74 gives me 12.74. There's one answer. and 7 minus 5.74 gives me 1.26. That's my second answer. Okay, Brooklyn, you can. From the homework problems you were just doing, notice this has a number in front of x squared. Okay? We can't have that in this process. It doesn't work. So here's what we've got to do. We've got to divide everything by whatever that number in front of x squared is. That is the only extra step that we have to do. So here's what we've got. We've got x squared. Let's do 8. We'll put it as a decimal. So this is 2.67x minus 96 divided by 3 is 32 equals 0. And the first thing that we need to do, which we already learned in the last example, is we've got to move old c. Move old c. So add 32 to both sides. Now I've got x squared plus 2.67x plus leave a spot for c. And this is going to equal 32 plus and leave another spot for c. Okay? And so now we need to calculate c. So let's go over here. C equals b divided by 2 squared. Now, when we're doing this, we don't want to take this b, the 8. We want to take the new b that we got after we divided everything by 3. So this is going to be 2.67 divided by 2 quantity squared. So here's what I've got. So I've got 1.33. All right. So this equals 1.33 squared, which equals 1.78. Okay, that's our new C. So let's add that right here, 1.78, and add it right here, 1.78. What's the matter?
Well, okay, never mind. But for me it was 6 and she's 8.
No, it's 1.78.
Okay.
Okay, here's what you got to do. Go to this side, and we need to write it like this. We put an X here. The sign that's in front of B goes right here. And guess what? The number that goes right here is this guy, which actually is the square root of 1.78. So we're going to put 1.33 here. Over here, I've got to do 32 plus 1.78 on my calculator, and I get 33.78. Okay, so we had some decimals, but the procedure is the same. The next thing is exactly like before. Take the square root of both sides. When we take the square root of this, we get x plus 1.33 equals plus or minus. Now, we need to take the square root of 33.78. And I got 5.81. And here's something that's important. Remember when you're doing this, you're going to get two answers, 1 plus, 1 minus. Okay? The last step, subtract away 1.33. So I've got two answers. X equals negative 1.33 plus 5.81. And x equals negative 1.33 minus 5.81. And we're going to put both of those in our calculator. So I've got 4.48. And over here, negative 7.14. So these are my two answers. And that's a wrap.